videos. You are listening my data analysis videos. I always teach to you about research, about data analysis, about your thesis. If you are writing your thesis or if you are a research student, then this live session is for you. Please let me know in the comment section from which city or from which part of the world or from which country you are watching me. Today I have two important terms for you. Today I have two important terms from you which I will try to give you as simple explanation as possible. Today I have two simple terms for you in which you may confuse, and sometimes the students and teachers understand that they are similar to each other, they are synonyms to each other, but they are not. They might can confuse you, but if you will watch this video with much attention, it may help you in understanding. We have two terms. One is called standard deviation and the second one is called standard error of the mean. Today we have two terms. One is called standard deviation and the second one is called standard error of the mean. Standard deviation means that it standard deviation is the characteristic of descriptive statistics. Similarly, standard error of the mean is the characteristic of descriptive statistics as well as it is the characteristic of inferential statistics. Again, we have two simple terms. I will make as easy as possible for you. We have two terms. One is called standard deviation, second one is called standard error of the mean. Both possess the word standard, but first one is standard deviation and second one is standard error of the mean. Standard deviation is the characteristic of descriptive statistics, while standard error of the mean is the characteristics of descriptive statistics as well as inferential statistics. Standard deviation means that if you have a data set, standard deviation means that if you have a data set and you take the average of that data set. Standard deviation means if you have a data set and you take the average of that data set and then you see how the data set is clustered around the mean. Standard deviation means that you have 10 students exam score. For example, first student has 90 by 100 score, second student has 80 by 100 score, third student has 70 by 100 score, fourth student has 60 by 100, next student is 50 by 100, next student is 40 by 100, and then you have an average score of 50. You have an average score of 50. Now, how the individual score of students are present around the mean on left side and right side. This is called standard deviation. Again, standard deviation means if you have a set of scores and you have the average score and then you see how the set of scores are present around the mean on left side and right side. Second definition of standard deviation is how the individual scores around the mean vary from each other. Third definition of standard deviation is how the individual scores around the mean have variation. Next definition of standard deviation is you have average score in the middle, then you have left side and you have right side, and how the scores are spread out around the mean on the left hand side and on the right hand side. This is called standard deviation. I will make the last definition of the standard deviation which you will like. Standard deviation means you have a set of scores and then you have an average score and then you see how the sets of scores around the mean are clustered Next term is standard error of the mean. Next term is standard error of the mean. Standard error of the mean that standard error of the mean is you have population and you take samples from that population. In standard error of the mean, you will take a population and then you will take several samples from that population. For example, you took sample 1 from the population, then you took sample 2 from the population, then you took sample 3 from the population. So you have one population, but you got 3 samples from the population. And now you compare those sample means with population mean. Again, if you want to study the standard error of the mean, please listen to me and watch with much attention. You have population and then you take sample 1 from the population, then you take sample 2 from the population, then you take sample 3 from the population. Now from the one population you took 3 samples and each sample has a mean score. There is mean score of sample 1, there is mean score of sample 2, there is mean score of sample 3, and you want to compare those sample means with population mean, and you see how the sample means are vary from population mean, how much variation is present between sample means with respect to population mean. This is called standard error of the mean. If the standard error of the mean is low, it means the samples are good representative of population. If the value of sample means are low, it means the samples are good representative of population. If the values of sample means are high, it means sample is not good representative of population. If the sample means are high, it means samples are not good representative of population. So in a nutshell, you have population and you have population mean. Then you take various samples from this population and each sample has mean score, and then you compare the sample means with population mean. If the sample means vary greatly from the population mean, it means samples are not good representative of population. But if the sample means did not vary so much from the population mean, it means the samples are good representative of the population mean. So if the value of standard deviation is low, samples are good representative of population mean. If the values of sample means are high, the samples may not good representative of population. I hope you got this point. Thank you so much. Please tuned stay tuned on this channel.